With an AEW star named in a performance-enhancing drug scandal investigation and more, this is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we move on, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on, and don't forget to like the video. Touching on what led to her return to WWE, Cathy Kelly told Chris Van Vliet, "I credit Stephanie and Triple H to being the reason why I'm back, but the fact that they always believed in me when I was there, and they were, two of the people who requested me to be on anything that they were a part of. I never felt like I wasn't doing cool things when I was there. I very much am grateful for all of those opportunities, especially the ones that they gave me, but it was really because they were in these leadership roles now that I came back, and I feel like I was allowed to have those opportunities." Taking to social media with an important announcement, former WWE star Cathy Kelly wrote that our twins have arrived. "I can't wait to share all the pics and videos so soon. We've been in our baby bubble, taking in every minute of our babies. Words can't describe how I feel now that I am a mom to the most perfect angel babies. Just wait till you see their faces." Recalling his interaction with CM Punk at the Cauliflower Alley Club, Rob Van Dam said on his One of a Kind podcast, "I just saw him Thursday night. He was getting an award and he gave a speech and he came down and talked to me. He was in a really good mood, good vibes, really seemed like he was really happy in the moment, felt like he was having a good time sitting over at the other table by Mickie James. And anyway, he'll be alright. It'll be interesting to see where he ends up. Who knows, but best wishes to him and everybody." Giving advice to CM Punk following his departure from AEW, Eric Bischoff noted on his 83 Weeks podcast, "If he's sitting on a pile of cash and he's not financially motivated or doesn't feel the need from a financial perspective to make a move, that's a factor and a variable. Unless he's got enough money sitting in the bank where he doesn't have to worry about the next 25 years, at some point he's going to wake up and you go, ugh, I got to make something happen." It would all come down to Phil Brooks being able to convince Paul that he's sincere. I would hope, not knowing Phil Brooks at all, that some point soon he recognizes that the clock is ticking, and more than that, recognizes that he's in absolute control of the final chapter of his professional wrestling story. Breaking her silence after losing the NXT Women's title to Becky Lynch last night, Tiffany Stratton said on Twitter, "The only time you'll catch me looking back is to see how far I've come, and I'm only just beginning." Speaking of Becky Lynch, she said this about her win of the NXT Women's title: "That has a great ring to it, doesn't it? The Grand Slam, man. Here we go. Becky Balboa. We did it. Oh my goodness. This is wild. I've become the NXT Women's Champion on my goal list for the last 10, maybe 11 years. It's one of those things that you think, okay, well, I'm not in NXT. Maybe it's never going to happen." Then Tiffany just had to go running her mouth too much, and here we are. I can't say nothing's possible. Family full of champions. Me and Seth Rollins. We're both champions. Look at us, controlling the business. Coming clean on causing Dolph Ziggler to suffer an injury, Ryback said on a recent live stream that "The only injury that I've ever caused was Dolph Ziggler, one of my best friends, with a concussion. He actually blames, I take the blame, and he takes the blame. I'm one of the safest workers, legit, and I've worked with top guys my entire career. Have you not gone back and watched my matches? I'm actually very safe, maybe with intensity and getting over, but I actually know how to work." During an interview with Busted Open Radio, Sonny Kiss said this about his recent AEW departure and lack of opportunities on TV prior to being let go. Definitely a question a lot of people asked as well, like, where is Sonny? Where is Sonny? But I understand, and it hurt to go places, and that was the question asked. I'll be in the supermarket or at training, wherever, and everyone's just like, we don't see you. But how I'm feeling, it's like a heartbreak. It's been a little rough because this is everything I wanted to do. It's a dream, and I worked so very hard. I worked tirelessly for this not to happen. Dustin Rhodes, he's a trainer for all the women at AEW, and every single time I got sent to TV, I was there hours before doors opened. I worked my ass off every single week to make sure that this didn't happen, so yeah, it's heartbreaking 100%. I thought about everything, like why? What am I doing wrong? And I would beg sometimes to go to TV to like, can I go just to train with Dustin, please? Just something, because I just wanted to work. I never was just resting on my laurels. I never was just okay with not doing anything. I never was okay with that. So yeah, when I got the call, I was very shocked, very shocked. For that same interview, Sonny Kiss said this about not being re-signed by AEW. So I got the call the last week of August, and honestly, it took a long time for it to settle in. It took a long time because I just was in shock. I wasn't expecting it, and obviously for the longest time throughout the past couple of years of there not being any credit for me, I've thought about it. Speaking about his conversation with Edge after his final match in WWE, Road Dogg said on his Oh You Didn't Know podcast, I can't speak highly enough about the dude. Just talking about that episode of SmackDown. What a great episode that was devoted to him, and in respect to him, with respect to him and his family, I just love this guy. Man, what a professional. I've told this story a million times too, but it's the truth. They came in and they were students of the game, and they were working hard and working out and tanning and doing everything that you need to do to be a WWF superstar at the time. I was on top of the world and peeing it away and not realizing it and making fun of them guys for not being on time and doing their jobs adequately and stuff like that. It just goes to show full circle I have come. But also these two individuals I saw come in and then surpass me and surpass arguably everybody in the wrestling business with the TLC matches. I mean, that raised the bar in the wrestling world. You would say ECW did that 100 times? Yeah, but WWF didn't. You know what I mean? When they did it with these 6 cats, and it raised the bar as to how we do things today. So yeah, just a good human being. I had an opportunity not long ago, went to Madison Square Garden for a Friday Night SmackDown recording, just in homage to the Garden, and got to sit at a table and catering with some really good friends of mine, and Edge was one of them. We talked and laughed for an hour and a half, acting like we didn't have real jobs. Edge looked at me and said, this is what I'm going to miss. I said, dude, the camaraderie. I said, if they could put it in a bottle, I'd be hooked on it too. That's just what it is about the dressing room. If you're a people person, that dressing room can be a really cool place to be, but you know, it depends on where your head's at, because it can also be hell on earth. When he said that, and it just made me think like, man, it's the camaraderie. We had such a good time, and they could have taken my pay for the day. I don't think I got paid anyway, but they could have taken my pay for the day, and I would have been happy with that just to hang out. AJ Styles, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, a member of the writing team was there. Just different guys would sit down. Fergal Devitt sat down with us, and we just sat there joking, and it was just like he said, man, I'm gonna miss the camaraderie, and he's 100% right. The camaraderie is gonna miss you, dude. It appears that a former WWE star and current AEW star has been named in an investigation involving a performance-enhancing drug scandal, with Ringside News writing, a decade ago, diligent U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration agents conducted a comprehensive federal investigation into the Biogenesis Clinic, scrutinizing the prevalent steroid use in baseball. Alex Rodriguez, Nelson Cruz, and Ryan Braun were among the 21 players who ultimately faced suspension. Tony Bosch and 7 other individuals were subsequently convicted. ESPN managed to acquire an extensive cache of 1,400 unredacted federal investigative documents revealing the identities of additional athletes associated with Biogenesis. Among them was AEW's Paul Wight. In a revealing 2014 interview, Tony Bosch mentioned that he had treated Wight during the years 2019 to 2010. Bosch disclosed that his partner, Jorge Oogie Velasquez, had clandestinely administered performance-enhancing drugs to Wight, unbeknownst to Bosch himself. Furthermore, Wight allegedly conveyed to Velasquez that wrestlers saw more potent substances, such as Winstrol and Deca-Durabolin, a preference incongruent with Bosch's doping protocols. Paul Wight, represented by his attorney Edward Brennan, stated that Tony Bosch had visited Wight's residence during a Thanksgiving open house attended by fellow wrestlers. Nonetheless, Wight affirmed that he had met with Bosch on only one other occasion. Brennan emphatically underscored that Wight had never recorded a failed drug test and emphasized the grave risk posed by any involvement with performance-enhancing drugs due to his pre-existing endocrine system disorder. Edward Brennan released a statement that claimed the former Big Show never saw Tony Bosch for any of those illegal enhancements. This was quite a string of events that unfolded, but Paul Wight claims he was never involved at all. Paul never treated with Bosch. Paul never took any PEDs from Yugi or anyone else. He is as clean as you can be. More importantly, he would never take any PEDs because of his underlying medical condition. Jorge Yugi Velasquez has called Bosch a snitch and said, "What I believe it is, when you are doing a deal with the government, you need to bring stuff to the table to make yourself bigger so you can have more value." Bosch is trying to make himself bigger than he is. Like always, he is a nobody. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.